Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And we've made it all the way to day 17 of this wonderful Whiskey Advent Calendar, which is a Scotch Whiskey Advent Calendar. But it's from 5 years ago, I think. And I've never done this calendar or watched anyone on video do this calendar, so I thought it would be a good thing to try this year because there would be so many independent bottlings and cask strengths. But I just did this great intro, dumping it into the pulling it out of the hole and opening the bottle and pouring it into the glass, and then going over lots of things that other YouTubers are doing this year, whiskey tube type channels, and it was wonderful. And then I noticed I had not pressed the record button. So I can't redo the opening of the bottle, but it was the usual thing where the bottle goes in here to be hidden. And I didn't look, I didn't see it. And there's the whiskey being covered up so it can sit around for 15 minutes while it opens up a little bit. And the other whiskey tubers I mentioned who are doing calendars this year, or some calendar-like activity, are the bourbon junkies, who are doing this interesting set of samples that viewers sent them. So they're tasting it blind, and they just kind of randomly took a bunch of samples and put them in the order that they came in. And they're tasting them blind, and it's pretty interesting to watch them do that. And Whiskey Crusaders, I don't know exactly what they're tasting, but they have very long live streams, so hour, 2 hours, maybe more, to do their daily calendar thing. So Matt's really pumping out the content over there. And kind of the same thing with Hot Buttery Rolls. He's doing his live as streams, and sometimes they get lengthy. Some are short, 20 minutes, and some are long, 2 hours. So it's all over the place with him. He's kind of a newer guy, and it's good. He knows what he's doing. And Matt at ADHD Whiskey is doing an interesting calendar from, the Michigan Whiskey Elite, or Michigan Bourbon Elite. So he's tasting his blind. They give him a set. It's a whiskey club apparently somewhere in Detroit or somewhere else in Michigan, wherever he is now. And he's having a pretty good time getting through those. Oh, and Vin at No Nonsense Whiskey is doing a calendar. He hasn't been big on calendars in the past. He has trouble keeping up with the daily posting, and that is a chore, but he's doing 4 at a time. So he will pick 4 and open them all up, knows them all, tastes them all, and sling them out that way. So he's doing a Master of Malt Explorer series of probably world whiskeys. So that's been good to watch. And then Eric Waite is doing an interesting series, I think. George and Amy sent him a whole set of mostly cask strength Scotch malts, I would say, single malts. So he's tasting those, and he edits everything down to 1 minute or less. He must be putting it out on some other media, because it's funny to see it edited down so tightly, but that's been good to watch. And then it's Bourbon Night. They're not really doing a calendar, but they're doing their top contenders for Whiskey of the Year, or Bourbon of the Year, as the case may be. So they're just tasting their favorites that they threw in the pot before they do their best of the 2020 type episode. So those have been really fun to watch, and now I talked my way through this embarrassing situation where I forgot to press record, and now I'll go sulk for 15 minutes while this gets some air. Okay, so we're back from letting this guy sit for 15 minutes on day 17 of this Whiskey Advent Calendar. Now, the whiskey tubers I just mentioned before, I've got links to all their channels or their first Advent Calendar entry for this year down below. So if you want to check them out, you can do it there. So, coin comes off, and the nosing and tasting begins. Oh, very malty. Buttery. Wow. No peat, no sherry, he said confidently. very malty, very buttery on the nose. And there might be some ethanol in there too. That might be pretty hot on the palate, I'm guessing. So honey, melon notes maybe. Very rich, full nose. Maybe a touch of something savory. Ham or turkey? Turkey, yeah. I don't know which one. But lots of flavors, melons and fruits like that. Honey, and then a kind of a butter sauce all over all of it. Very interesting. No real cask notes. No sherry, no peat. That's what I'm saying at this point. So let's just dive in. Ah ha ha ha, hot. 55 or above. Whoa! Maybe higher than 60. Whoa! And there's going to be gobs of flavor. It's malty. There's a lemony citrus tang. Woo! Maybe a peppery finish, or maybe it's just alcohol dying out. Okay, I'm going to the water right away here. There's every reason to believe this is 60% ABV. I'll just dump all that in. And the flavors won't really be released or be evident until there's a little more water in there. Flavors my palate can pick out. Look at that. Nose is a little lighter, fruitier, something extra now. I'm smelling more things, and the buttery note has transformed to something a little different also. It's still buttery, but there's new things. Man, I don't think I've got descriptions for them. Baking spices, maybe. Ah, that's nice. That might be a nice spot to drink it too. It is very malty. It's very hot. I don't think I got this much below 55%. Fruit notes have kind of mushed together. It's kind of distinctive as a melon before, and now the apple and melon and other things have kind of gone together. Maybe it's still too hot. I like this one. It's a good, strong malt punch with some other honey, butter, fruity things in it. Oh, that's a good spot for it. Tiny bit salty. Just the slightest hint of some sherry notes. So now I'm so gun shy from missing all the sherry cask things. I might be imagining it where it doesn't exist, but this could easily be like a third fill sherry cask. The type of fruit it is, kind of fruit notes I'm getting, are consistent with sherry, but not strong at all. Way in the background. But it's a nice kind of, it's a kind of nice friendly space side notes that are usually famous for the sherry maturation. So malty, honey, a buttery taste at the beginning, and the can't really say the mouthfeel is remarkable or oily or full. It's a nice, buttery, fruity, maybe sherry influenced Speyside or Highland. And it could be, I don't know, it could be old, could be young. 8 to 18. I'm gun shy about age now too. Missed a couple of nice old ones. So could be sherry, but it's not strong. Could be old, could be young. I'm not ready to commit on that one. Definitely Highlander Speyside. Don't really know of any islands that taste like that. Lowlands could be in there. Cask strength could bump up some of their flavor profiles to this kind of taste. So I think that's all I'm going to get. It's friendly. It is easy to drink once you get the right amount of water in it. And it's good. Well, I'm getting more and more salt on my palate. And there's not really, I mean, it's a good long finish of the malt and fruits. And the salt's hanging on too, but there's no peppery finish or indication of European oak or anything like that. So I got a bit here left. I'm going to take a look and see what this guy is. Wow, AD Rattray, 2008 Craigellachie 6-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey. And I am looking to see, it's a sherry butt, but I don't think it's real active, and 58% ABV. So I was right about everything I actually stated. Is a guess. I was way too shy to guess age. I think I picked up the sherry as a faint second or third fill type thing, maybe more. Buttery, yeah. I think I'm seeing some of that Craigellachie complexity. This is nice, friendly, not much of the cask influence in here, but I like it. This is good. If I saw it sitting on a shelf after tasting this, I would go, yeah, that's worth $80, and I will sit with it 20 different nights and enjoy it each time. So I'd say that was successful as a guessing venture and successful as a tasting venture. My friend will enjoy the other part of this bottle. So again, like the video down below, leave comments, leave questions, leave comments, leave questions, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified, and share it with somebody. And there's something like 6 or 7 more days left. So come back for all those, and Merry Christmas.